Trying to figure out where my mute button was. Hello! How you guys doing? Sorry I'm a few minutes late. I got distracted again. Yeah, I needed to find the unmute button on the pedal because I missed. But how you guys doing? Hello. So I actually did some homework this time. So I've actually got something to do. Wow. You know what I mean? I have something planned tonight. Is what I really mean. God, you know. Yeah. So today, hopefully, I can get some of the child board stuff implemented. Starting with whoop, those aren't supposed to be there. Starting with some designs for the maps, just to get started anyway. It's not an exhaustive list of them. I don't know if you can see these very well. Oh, you actually kind of can. Look at that. So I did start drawing out a bunch of different designs for these guys. So I'll work on implementing those guys first, or getting them into an assembly format, and then drawing them hopefully to screen today. We'll see. And I think I've more or less decided on the format for it. The brick format's going to be pretty much the same as the main game, yeah, I just need to get to it. Oh, and there is something else that I did start to do. You'll notice I'm on a different branch here. That's a lot louder than I thought it would be. Thank you for the follow, though. Appreciate that. Let me turn that down just a little bit. I'll blow my ears out. Yeah, so one thing that I've been thinking about for a while is the dependencies that I'm using. Like, if someone wants to compile this project, they would have had to jump through a lot of hoops to get things correct, right? To be able to build in the first place. The major things outside of the assembly that are typically needed are the the 6502 assembler, that tool chain, the CC65 tool chain, as well as my library of things that I've started to write for NES dev or whatever, right? The Go NES library. So I've a submodule. There's no S on the end of it. No S. So I've added those two as submodules to this project, which basically just means I include their Git repo in a folder somewhere else. Well, not somewhere else, but like right in the same directory. So then when I clean all. There we go. So on a fresh checkout, as long as you've got, as long as you've pulled the submodules as well, it'll go ahead and build everything, including the assembler and the linker. It doesn't compile any of the other CC65 tools because I don't use any of them. It just compiles the two I need, which is the assembler and the linker. So it's a little bit shorter of a build time. Yeah, here goes the linker now. And it will also build my CHR util. That was right here. Right there. So that means you only need GCC, make, and go installed to get everything working, in theory. I haven't tested this out very much, and this will probably help me with getting some sort of build server set up as well. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, we'll see. Because a lot of things, like, no build server has NES dev stuff installed, like pre-installed, right? Like Jenkins doesn't. It just doesn't. But it does have, Jenkins does have GCC, for instance. So I might be able to have Jenkins, or Travis is the one I meant, build for me and test for me and all that kind of stuff. Are you writing straight game code, or you need to establish some registers first? When I was programming A-Tiny24, the first things to do was setting pins to write-read adequately. So I don't need to do any of that, writing or reading of pins, because I'm writing games for the NES, this game platform that's already there, right? So I don't need to define like, oh, these pins go to the cartridge ROM and these pins go to the PPU, because that's already all defined for me. That's already taken care of for me. The processor's already on the board, the processor's already soldered and interconnected with all the different things and configured. So I just have to write the assembly to communicate with the other chips. But that communication is already like, here's how you do it. I don't have to like figure out how to communicate with them. No, you write to this address to communicate with this chip. Yeah, so I don't have any hardware design that I have to do for any of this. It's all software stuff. but I don't have that open. Noctix Mails. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. How you doing? That's the second time I've gotten that in like 2 days. No, I have not cut my beard. I need to trim it a little bit though. Noctis. Okay. All right. This is the one writing certain values to certain addresses. Yeah, I don't need to define pins for read-write stuff. I mean, the only thing I really need to worry about is mapper related. And that's just defining which portion of the ROM chip is exposed to the CPU at any given point in time. Yeah, I mean, I'll show you the initialization code that I have in main here. So this right here is the entry point. The way the 6502 works is that there are 3 addresses at the very bottom of, or top rather, I suppose, of the ROM space. So at like F7 and up, I think, somewhere around there. There's 3 addresses, right? So it's 6 total bytes. And they're all the vectors. So there's one vector for the NMI, there's another one for the IRQ, and then there's one for the reset. When the CPU turns on, it reads the reset one and jumps there and starts execution there. So this right here is my initialization code, or I just disable IRQs for a little while. Actually, I disable them entirely, I think. Clear decimal mode because the NES doesn't implement the decimal mode. New York! Thank you for the tier 1 sub. Appreciate that. How you doing? Welcome. And I set up some stack, which actually isn't really even needed, because like if I leave this stuff out, everything still works. Because like the stack's gonna be the register is gonna be set to something. It doesn't need to be what I set it to here, but it just is. Aloha, how you doing? I'm doing alright. Can't complain too much. And then this right here is just setting up the PPU stuff. So this is already sending configuration to the PPU. Akamaffin, hello. And then I just clear out a bunch of RAM, make it all zeros, so I don't, you know, try and read something that yeah. And then I go on to initialize my mapper, which will be different for, well, any mapper really. This just tells the mapper which portions of the chip to have in view of the CPU, and then I just go on with my game code. So there isn't really any initialization I have to worry about with programming the chip itself, or any of the chips. Any of the chips, really. But anyway, so let's start with some map stuff. I don't know if I'm going to use this one. I might get rid of this one. What is it? 5x10? Yeah, we're not going to use that one. Oh, that's because it's in the stash, isn't it? Okay. What is this? Did I already push the other stuff? I did. Shoot. Let me clean that up real quick. File. I did some minor changes here. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Was there any others? Get rid of that. I don't know if there are any others. Oops. Okay. Never too early to do it. I mean, yeah. Alright. Small makefile tweaks. Like that. Alright. Oh, did I just... Maybe I just nuked it. Alright, well... That's neat. Anyway, let me check out to the master branch and do my work there. Clean. Mainline 16 a comment. Yeah, that would be very useful as a commit message. So these guys are staying there, not doing anything with those. Yeah. So what we want now. It's not that. We want a new map. 12 by 6. Yep. Save as. Child boards 12 by 6. Yes, the children. And let's go ahead and open up that tile set. This one, I think. Yes, this one. Child beards. Alright, so I'm just gonna put in a few of these. I've only got what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. 15? About 15 of them. Because this one's like a duplicate. Consider children? Yes, tonight. Alright. Alright. So I'm gonna quickly hammer out a few of these. This guy's going to be... I'm gonna keep spelling it beard all night tonight. I can tell. Like, I can already tell. New tile layer. Board 01. Okay, this one is over there. That. So one, yeah, one in the middle. That. New board 02. Again, I wish the drawing with these rectangle meta tiles actually worked correctly, but it don't. New tile. I wish there was a. I wonder if there's a keybind for that. There probably is. Oh, 3. Is there a keybind for that? Layer new. There's not. I can copy a layer. Here's the players do the mapping. Alright. Wait, no, that one's supposed to be over there. There we go. That guy's there, then there's there, then there, then there. New board 04. That. Those two. There we go. So I think I'm actually going to include a few, what's it? Like metadata settings in this, similar to how many boards in total? I've only got like 15 right now. There's a good chance I'll be increasing that. Oh, there's 15 base boards. So similar to how sprites can be mirrored left and right, or mirrored horizontally and vertically, I am also thinking of doing that exact same thing for these child boards, where I can in like the index definition, whatever. Oops, that's not right. I can say, oh, by the way, this map is like reversed horizontally, but still uses the exact same input map data. So that could increase the number of maps I have without me having to manually make all of them. DLC coming up. So I was working out how to actually implement that earlier today. I think I've got the logic of it squared away. I haven't tried implementing it yet, obviously. So we'll see how well that works. It might not work very well at all, but I mean, we're gonna try. All right, we're gonna try. And you notice right now, I mean, I'm just using the single health tile. I might like generate the other tiles programmatically somehow. Either pre-assembly or at runtime in the assembly. Not sure which yet. I haven't really decided yet. I figure I can decide later if I really want to. Which mathematical functions produce these? RNG for the win. No, these are just like things I thought up. I was actually at the laundromat and yesterday. I don't know, whenever it was, I was at the laundromat. It might have been not yesterday, because yesterday was a holiday. Day before yesterday, so Sunday, and today while I was at the auto shop waiting for my car to get fixed. Board 08 that's not right either. That's why does 8 actually not work over there? You can't see that, but 8 does not want to input in that field. Zoning, how you doing? Welcome. So we're gonna type 8 because see the character works. Then we're gonna select it and then copy it and then come over here, rename that layer to 0, and then we're gonna paste the 8 in there. So that I just can't type 8 in the rename field. Why? Why? Can I type it over here? I can't type 8. I can type the other numbers, but 8 doesn't want to work. How you doing? Doing long and Eagles making games. They're copy paste mine. Sorry, it's something I beat you to it there. All right, so we're gonna like that. Yeah, there it goes. No, that was too. Like that. Oh no, like that. There we go. Because I can't draw horizontal lines correctly with this setup. I can draw diagonal ones, which gets the job done. Number 8 requires the numbers DLC. Yeah, just my luck. All right, so that's all those. A few more. Board 09. It's gonna be 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then 1. Right. And the opposite of that over here. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The program is completely free, but you need the number 8 DLC for $59.95. For the low price of $59.95. Yeah. Doulahan Software, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, so I'm doing a little bit of tiled stuff, and I found, I think, a bug where I can't type 8 in the ID field, the name field. I can type the other numbers, but not 8. It just doesn't let me type 8. So, I think I hit that issue before, but I don't know if I went on a rant about it. No, see, I can't do. Bugs me. That one. No. From there up to. Oh, I won't be able to do that either because it. I also thought about having a half width tile. I don't know if I'll do that one or not, but Foofy Shirshkin, how you doing? Are you going to put items that drop out of the bricks, like double ball, longer paddle, laser, etc.? Maybe not those ones specifically, but I do plan on having power-ups and or power downs, yes. Board 11. Oops, didn't click, there it goes. Can I select that? I can, beautiful, all right, look at that. I can copy paste, who knew? But yeah, so there are a few power-ups and whatnot that I do want to have, I think. I'm not sure, like, what all of them will be, though, because I haven't really thought about it too hard about what I want them to be. Board 12. But I figure, like, I could make a longer or shorter paddle. So 2 power-ups there. I suppose I might be able to get another ball in there, but that would double the collisions that I have to figure out per frame. I'm not sure I want to do that. But I mean, it's a possibility, you know. So I'm not ruling it out yet, you know. But the big one though is going to the child boards. Yeah, I'm making these work first and then going to the power-ups. Yeah, the collisions. I don't know. Ball-to-ball collisions. Yeah, so that's another one too. Is not only does it double, it adds an entirely new class of collisions, because that's 2 moving objects that I have to worry about, and then both of them have to bounce like against each other or off of each other, and like I don't know how I would want to handle that. Like, do I give them momentum or something? Or do I make one ball heavier than the other, or what? Yeah, I don't know. With gravity, even. Yeah, right. So I'm not sure that's a rabbit hole I want to go down, but I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. Board 13. SimWorld. Yeah, a lot of complexity. And I don't think I can, yeah, I won't do that there. Yeah, a lot of complexity. I don't think I really want to get into at this point. You know, I've had enough issues with collisions so far. I'm not sure I want to dig up that rabbit hole again. Mouse, how you doing? They could, I mean, they could, but what's the fun in that? Sakanaka, how you doing? Welcome. This stands for health. So these bricks, they have a health value. So it's set to 1 right now. But the idea is that there's a global health setting that I have for the whole map, where you'd have to hit these bricks until their health hits 0. And that health could be greater than 1, or greater than 1 for any given map. That's the basic idea behind it. Only because I had 7 bits that I could use for something. I figured, why not? Quantum physics, even. The fun that would be juggling multiple balls. I don't know how well it would work though. At least if it seems so when playtesting earlier. Balls here. How it is there? Alright, this is going to be the last one for now. Board 14. I dripped water all over my notebook, so you can see there's a big water spot there now. That's fantastic. It bled through like 3 pages. My God. Well, that's just a power-up to right? It's like, come on. I just got past something like fairly that I wanted to bash my head against the desk for, and I don't do that again. Not a bug. Alright, so this guy. So no, I don't want to save. No, I don't need to save that. Alright, so I do need to make some changes to my what's it? My map conversion stuff. Not very many changes. I just need to make a change so I can run that utility on two different files and give it a different like prefix, so the labels don't collide, right? The labels don't clash. So I don't think I undid the things. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna label prefix that. That was what, 2? Yeah, this guy here is 2, so this is going to be label prefix is that if label prefix equals that, this will never happen. That'll never happen. Because that's checked for up here and there's something out after it. So, yeah, there is no error that can happen there, in theory. All right, where are the labels? Page 1, index. Here we go. Okay. $S underscore. Let's go ahead and copy that. Paste it there. 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 And there. I think that's it. Nope. Oh, I need to. I need to actually add that variable to all these things. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. So I'm just gonna need a prefix just to make it so I don't have to type it over and over again. Print ln. No, I want this to be print f now because I need prefix. There's probably a better way to do this, but I don't feel like doing it right now. I don't feel like finding that better way. How about that? Prefix and then prefix. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. There's gotta be. Cleon, how you doing? Welcome. Prefix, and then the health stays there, I think. Right? Probably. I hope so. Prefix there. What am I doing? I am tweaking one of my utilities right now to accept a label prefix. so I can use the same utility for both my main maps and the smaller child maps. I think that's all of them. Nope. S underscore. Oops. S underscore. Okay. Finally finished the dinner one. Nice. Yeah, I see that you've used one of the root passwords to the Constitution shit. Root passwords? I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about, Jordan. I apologize. Okay, so do I have any more that I missed? I don't think I did. Perfect prefix. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of them there. Values, values, values. Debug printing. Ah, here. Map. Okay. Okay. So now make file. Convert map. Yes, yes. Map. Where's the map data? Map data I, and I also want, or this guy's going to be main a root password to the Constitution is a rallying cry for this. Ah, okay, gotcha. And this one's going to be map child data. Child boards underscore 12x6. That's a 4. There it goes. Oops, I don't want to do all that. Yes, I did. Okay. Map data. Oh. Okay. Now let's watch this not build. There it goes. Undefined child data. 49. Oh, that's because I ripped it out and didn't. Okay. Convert map main. What was it? 49. Yes. Okay. Not infrequently, anything attached to the slogan, think of the children makes things worse. Yeah, I know. That's kind of, it's a little. It's my least favorite argument for just about anything. That's kind of why I put it in the title. Unresolved external. Oh, right. Because I didn't change that stuff. So let's go over to main.asm. And what's the other one? Map decode. Map decode. Import main index maps. I need to fix that out as well. Main 133. 133. That? Wait, did I? Constant expression expected. 135 and 6. But they are. I mean, I can even imagine it used as an argument in favor of the reference content garbage collection. Have you tried lighting on fire and seeing what code is formed in the fires of Mordor? I have considered it. It's a very long walk though, and I'm not too keen on that. Alright, 135 and 6. So these happen fine. These are supposed to be... What is... Oh, wait, is this because... That's why. Okay, so that... Those are the main board width and height, which are defined in this file. So these can stay there. Yeah, he should have gotten himself a bicycle. That's about what I feel like doing right now with the code I'm working on. I feel your pain. I really do. Alright. App decode 21 and 23. Main and main. Those are actually going to be different, aren't they? Unresolved external. Main board data height. What you mean? Oh. I know why. I think. No. What? We're not making the child board data. Is this ignored? Yeah, I think so, because that doesn't do anything, does it? Where is... Okay, where is this... Huh? Wait a minute. Map data, oh, where is this guy? Whatever.o, it's whatever.o. I see now. I see now! Okay. The compression thing I was working on, I cracked the good chunk. Oh, really? And I was looking for evidence to explain more when the SDK for the hardware was found, including the decompression routine and a reference to its original source. I mean, that's a good thing, right? But that's always, like, disheartening when, like, you work on something for so long, because, like, you're trying to reverse engineer something, and you hadn't found whatever it was that, like, you hadn't found the documentation before, right? But you still needed it, so you put all this work and effort into reverse engineering it and deciphering it, only to find the documentation later, and it'd be like, oh, I could have just looked a little harder for the documentation. I wouldn't need to had to try and figure this out myself. So it's like, oh, I did all that work for nothing then. Fantastic. It was a week, and I cracked the chunk. Oh. That's rough. Alright, so this needs to not happen. Or you know what? Let's do this. 12x6 grab this guy there. Try that. And then I have a map data.asm that first grabs that, puts it there, and includes, it is include, right? Yeah. 6.5, thank you. Main map data.i and child map data.i. All right. Well, let's keep this as I. Or no, because I need. I can't really use this then for that. That's annoying. That exists, doesn't it? Ugh. Named wrong. There it goes. Rajay, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. And Clag Hamster, hello. I was suspected of critical simplification somewhere in my model, but I didn't know where. It would probably have shown up once I cracked the second main arm of this state space I was working with. In the end, the conversion scheme turned out to be a mix of bit-based and digit-based. And I latched onto the bit-based portion and treated it as underlying the entire model. Ah, so you had like half of it done. So working on that assembly. Yes, I am. Best man Sunday hasn't switched, I swear. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. HDMI over Ethernet adapter. Okay. Or extender. Die-bit, not digit. 2 bits. Ah. Okay, gotcha. Main map data. I no such file or directory. What do you mean no such file? What? Excuse me? Oh, jeez. Ah, jeez. No, not that one. It's annoying. I should have done this before stream. There we go. Oh, no, come on. Really? Can't open and include a file unless it's a file directory. What do you mean this is a file directory? I'm going to turn off the verbose for that. Okay, I got one of them, 12 by 24. Didn't do the other one. Why didn't it do the other one? Wait, no, it didn't. Because I don't have it down here as like, hey, you need this for that thing, by the way. I really should have done this before stream. What are you trying to do with the, what? This is map data map. Oh, you know. Okay. Main board data height. You know, I nuked the new line. That's what happened. I nuked the new line. Map conversion or convert map main. Huh? It's right here though. Wait a minute. No, that's at the end, isn't it? Over here somewhere. Oh, because it was a print line before. That's why. And I didn't. It was a fprint ln before. I didn't add the new line when I added the other stuff. There it goes. That's better. Load file. Okay. So this file is just some glue that you can't see because it's behind me. This file is just some glue. That's not going to change, I guess. I might if I'll do it after stream. I'll do it off stream. My first keyboard crashes. First my keyboard crashes, then Twitch stuff. That doesn't sound like fun. Yeah. All right. So there's that one, and let's have a look at the. Oh no. Child map data. There we go. Child map maps. Okay. Not main. Let's go to map decode. Because this now needs to start taking pointers for things. Oh boy. What? So I need to break this out a little bit. So for the main map, so for the main map, it goes into one portion of memory, right? Into standard RAM. But for the child maps, those are going into extended RAM. They're going into different places. So yeah, the main map is always going to go to the same portion of memory, but each child map can go to a variety of places in extended RAM. But I want to be able to use the same code for both of them, because like I'm using the exact same map format for both of them. The size differs, sure, but it's the same format, you know? Backup keyboard refuses to power up, so I checked the batteries. They're good. I put them back in, and then the keyboard works again. Oh, fun. Yeah, why never runs out of power? Well, unless like the rest of everything else dies, but then you have then you've got bigger issues to deal with. All right. Read tile, start the current offset in the encoded data and return a single tile type. Okay, so I don't have to touch that, I don't think, because this looks at address pointer 1, which I can change to whatever I need to change it to, I think, right? Probably. Probably. Vital, how you doing? Welcome. Wired keyboard's running out of power, the internet is off. Or the whole power grid, right? Last map, tile address. What is this? Do I use this? I do. Why do I use that? Oh! Oh! I see. So I use that, because I don't have a termination character at the end of this. Right? Instead, I have to count the number of tiles I'm using up, essentially. For the main map data, is 24 by 12. What is that? 24 times 12 is 288. That is larger than 255, which means I cannot store it in a byte, which is why I use the address method, comparing it to an address. I probably shouldn't be banging this because this is a hard drive. Put that over there. This is Windows 8.1, so this is not Windows 10. Yes, the whole power grid, but the internet is the important part of that. Yeah. And more often than not for me, if the power ever flickers or goes off, my internet's still on and working fine. So how do I want to take care of this? Because wait a minute. Current map. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this way because this is a hard-coded map. I have the map hard-coded to load in. That's in over here somewhere. Start map 6 right there. And this is a static value that's being written to the ROM. Current map, where is that set? What? What? Where is that actually set? Wait, no, that's an address, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so the current map is the current main map. Okay. 8.17 bits. Listen here, you. Retro system. Not as retro as the NES. What, do you plug directly into the fiber switch? No, so I've got battery backups everywhere. So I've got a battery backup on my desktop as well as my networking equipment. The current main map, not a Massachusetts map. Yes. All right. Last time. So this is last address for the main map. So for these guys though, they're what is it? 12? What is 12? I can't do the math in my head. 72. That I can most certainly fit in a byte. Okay. So what I think I need to do is just break out this crap, I think. Well, okay, so I guess I need to break out the reading and writing of a tile. Or rather, the reading is already broken out. The reading is already way over here. So I need to break out the writing to an address, essentially, right? So I can have this check somewhere else. I think. There's also gravity and now mass. Break over the blocks are the shape of states. That just, I'm just gonna stop you for no. Says, no, I'm not even gonna try that one. Do you have enough resolution with your maps to have levels shaped to reasonable of the lower, to resemble the lower 48? Maybe. I'd have to draw it all out though, and I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna say no, just so I don't have to try. Even I succeeded once in a lifetime. Alright, so I don't want to remove those anymore, because I'm using those in various places. Okay. So this is for loading a main map, and let's get a load child map. So this is going to have a child ID. This ID will be a lookup into this table here, right? I did the math earlier today somewhere. Yeah, so I've got space for roughly 113 maps, which is lower than 127, so I don't have to worry about having more maps. I worry about fitting more maps into memory than I can index. Does that make any sense? Yeah. I reminded again of the abbreviation for the United States on packaging marked for sale in Quebec is what? French word. Right. Oh, excuse me. All right, so in A we'll have the child map ID, and we're going to ASLA that to get the index into that table, the word table. Transfer that to X. Oh. Oh, right, because all the map data is somewhere else. Right. Again, we're gonna do that. Save the bank we're coming from. Because again, all the load map stuff is in the fixed bank as well. Oops. Grab that. Paste it there. Alright, and this guy we're gonna paste there. And instead of having the main index maps, child index maps like that. You should be able to index up to 256, count from 0, split the table into separate high and low bytes. I mean, yes and no. So yes, I could do that on the table. Yes. However, the format for the tile in memory will not allow that. I mean, I only have 7 bits available in RAM for that. Because if we go down to this again, the byte format, each tile will have 2 bytes, right? And the first byte has a magic number of 0, the magic bytes of 0, 1. And the second byte has always that 7th bit set, or the 8th bit set, right? The top bit. So when I look at that byte, I immediately know that it's the second byte of 2, right? So it's the magic identifying number. So I only have 7 bits to work with for the map ID in the decompressed map data. So even though I could get a larger board or larger index, the point is moot. Got an 8-bit machine. Miha, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Audible gasp. Well. Possible also store banks or add an alignment requirement sufficient to embed the bank bits in lower order part of the address. I mean, I could separate that stuff out, I suppose. Like have a as part of like the map metadata, have a either start address or a pointer, or a pointer or an index or something to like a pointer table of child maps or whatnot, right? So each overworld map could have its own allotment of child maps, which just brings into the like. Then I have to just make more child maps, and that just increases the number of them I have to make. I don't think I'll even fill up 113 maps. What I have it at now. So I'm not really gonna worry about it too much right yet. I might be able to expand that later. We'll see. I don't know. I don't really plan on it though. All right. Are you sure 15 children is enough for you? For now. For now, I will expand that. No map map decode. Decode. There it goes. All right. So a little bit pointer than maps metadata. Yes, and then we're doing the same stuff here. Map load meta. No, load pointers. Because we have address pointer 0, and that's where we're getting the other pointers. Let's grab that, paste it there. Or let's say load meta. Like that. It's one to load first, but whatever. It works. I'm not going to screw with it too much. Not that one. This one. JSR map load meta data. That comes no shock to the family made 15 children yesterday. Imagine that's a lot of extra weight, I think, you know? That's something I'd want to do. Alright, and this guy is going to JSR to map load meta data. So now it also has all the pointer stuff that it needs. Alright. Okay. So I think I want to break out the right stuff. To their own, to its own, excuse me, function. Pointer, go to the first byte. Yeah, we'll grab that. Map write data. All right, these load loops are actually going to be an RTS. That. Health brick, right value, no brick, no brick. Okay. What is this? Hold up. Oh, that's 3 tile. Okay, never mind. And here we're going to JSR to write data, and then jump up to load loop. Like that. And branch carry set to done instead. Make things a little bit simpler. Okay. So first check is to make sure that everything still works the way it did before, without trying to load a child map. Spoilers, this is an assemble. Undefined label. Excuse me? What? Branch not equal. What was here? Oh. I'm gonna leave it like that. I can ask typo? Yeah, right? Map, write data. Map, load metadata undefined, because that is a capital load metadata, isn't it? Well, yes, but where's the one that's broken? Over here. Child index maps is undefined because I do not import it. That's better. Use rare. That's not in there anymore. Depending on the country, the government incentive for that would be huge, huge. But the runner project went. It might take 9 months for them to get to materialize. That's near you. Okay. So let's make sure that nothing broke. That. Good, it still loads the map. That's beautiful. All right. So now I need to get a loading a child map. Do I really want Soding's getting the break? C-sharp mirrors some other OLs, but this is actual magic. So the next step is loading that stuff into memory. Problem is there's also another step, 2 other steps that I need to finish, to do, before I can see any tangible results on the screen. Without looking at it at the hex. Yes, Clag, it has a little bit of gravity as well as a boost. A bit of a boost. So I need to obviously load the child map into RAM, but I need to trigger that somehow. I need to decide where it's going to go in RAM. And then I need to draw it. That's a lot of stuff I gotta do. Yeah, and I hear the next step is actually was a really interesting computer. Only 2 max boosts. Well, I mean, that's just the limit I have set on right now. I've got a sprite for 3. So if I, not that one, let's go over here. Captain Pie, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. I forget which one it is. It's not in there. It's over here somewhere. This one, I think. Yeah. So if I change that to 3, I actually can get 3 boosts out of it. 1, 2, 3, or I thought I could anyway. Maybe not. I don't know. Something about yeah. So I can have it on like so. One of the power-ups might be to add another boost or whatever. Next cube, really? I haven't got. I never got a chance to play around with them. They sound like interesting machines, though. All right. Oh, but step 1 of all of this is I gotta clear this. I have to clear all of expanded RAM, extended RAM. Didn't have enough disks to get a full development environment. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's a few days of League. I have to chill out a bit. I cannot play League anymore. I cannot. I used to a lot. That used to be my main game for a while. But I got far too salty. The modern successor, unfortunately, is Mac OS X. Mac OS. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna put this in the game code, I think. Because that's when I want to clear it. When I load up a new main map is when I want to clear out the child maps, right? Probably. Right, so we'll have it over here. JSR to clear extended RAM, and we're gonna have this over here. Where do I have? Okay, clear non-global, clear RAM, and clear extended RAM. Same, Salt was pretty chill about it, but then again, I unironically played crap like Timo, Tindra, and Garden, and Garen. Oh, Trinda and Garen. Yeah. I can't play anymore. Too many new characters. Can't be bothered relearning the mechanics. I still kind of remember the basic mechanics. I could not last hit to save my life anymore because I installed it a while back and I tried it out to see if I could like conceivably play a game. So I load up a bunch of bots and I was consistently missing last hits. I'm like, that's bad. So I promptly uninstalled after that. I didn't even try. And I'd like to be able to like pick. I would kind of like to be able to pick it up again, right? Because I have a bunch of skins in that game, a bunch, and a bunch of event skins from like the early PAXs, or the early PAX East, where. So what's the so yeah, the sunk cost fallacy. Jax, I think it is. I have PAX Jax. Which one is it? Let's see. Yeah, so like, if it wants to load. I don't think it does. Nope. Come on. Really? Why is it that small? You know, fine. This will work. But yeah, so like I have this skin, for instance. This is one of the limited ones I have. But like, I never even played him. But yeah, so it's sad that I can't like use those skins anymore, cause whatever. Can I afford to be gaming with 15 children? Probably not. Two Bluetooth keyboards connected. If I press shift on one, does it affect the other? Probably yes. If I have two wired keyboards and they both act as the same keyboard, because Windows is stupid. What? Windows is stupid. I don't know if Linux is as stupid in that regard. It might be. I don't know. But I know if you want to use like two separate keyboards as two independent separate keyboards, you have to jump through a few hoops. That involves like patching or using your own keyboard drivers or whatever. I had to create a new console so my mail provider got. Oh no! My season 3 ward skin. Yeah, the ones that I'm missing are the Lux skins, because I had most of those, and the Annie skins. I had almost all of those except for like one, I think. Well, I still have access to my account, so I can still like fire it up again, but I'm not gonna play it, you know. For a while, I was using macOS with a Linux VM, binding a second keyboard and mouse purely. Really? Have I played Factorio? Have I played Factorio? I have 180 hours in Factorio. I bought it a month and a half ago. Yes, I have played Factorio. Yes. But how you doing, F Mega? Welcome. Next stream one. Maybe this weekend. We'll see. Rookie numbers for a month and a half. For a month and a half. 180 hours in like 5 weeks, 6 weeks maybe. Looking forward to streaming my Warcraft at some point. Oh, nice. The WoW Classic or old school Warcraft? Video capture setup for my Quadra 800. That sounds like an old card. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's an old card. Is it an old card? Alright, so for this, how much RAM? I have a lot of RAM to clear, don't I? How do I go about this? So if I take hexadecimal 2,512, okay, and let's say divide that by 8, 64. Okay, so let's load up X. That can work. That's not gonna do what I wanted to do. I thought it would be clever. I'm not being too clever. Darn it. Because I wanted to use a loop and then a repeat for a macro and clear a bunch of RAM per loop. I don't think I'm gonna do it though. 0 and A. Load Y. FF. 0, 0. Store A in not 2,000. It's gonna be 6,000. Starting at 6,000 at Y. Branch on equal to loop. Outer loop. Outer. And there's gonna be something else. I have a feeling I'm doing this completely wrong to start. Because I know I'm missing some crap. I know I am. I can't do it that way. Because that's... Oh boy. Should find a replacement retaining screw for the motherboard on the machine. Yeah, keeping the motherboard in place is always a good idea. 15-pin D subcontroller for video. Looks like a PC joystick. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's old. That's old. Now thinking about it, I should try to find the service manual, see if it specifies what kind of screw to use. There you go. Alright, branch not equal to inner. Otherwise, or hang on. No, we gotta grab that, put that down there. Load A. $60, store that into address pointer 0 plus 1. Load 0, store that into address pointer 0. Over here. Do that. Yeah, it's old. It's a 68040 system, but it runs the latest version of system from before it was Mac OS, let alone OS X, let alone Mac OS. Yeah, sounds old. Sounds old. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Increment address pointer 0 plus 1. Compare that to 80 actually. Branch not equal outer. So I don't need to worry about resetting Y. Because here it will be equal. It would have wrapped around. This is gonna break, but let's try it anyway. It's gonna be slow too. I know that much. Because it's 1 byte per iteration of the loop. Game. No, it's gonna be init game. No, where I want to go actually is come on, that one. Clear extended RAM. Let's just drop it there. I mean, it's not the oldest Macintosh I have. I'm not sure if that's saying much or not. That would probably be one of the 2FX systems that still need a bit of work. But I bet they always have some power. Wait. Okay. We are in the clear extended RAM. So this should start at hex 6000 and should end at hex 7FFF. So it should be starting there. Let's see if it actually does. I need to go away, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. And we're gonna make address pointer 0, and we're actually going to use that as a, or display that as a pointer. Okay. All right. So we're starting at 6,000. And we're going through. All right, so this part works so far. The old Power Max, any old Power Max old enough to run StarCraft. Old enough to run StarCraft. That's unfortunate. So yeah, this is really slow. I will be, after I confirm that this works, I'll do some macro stuff. All right, so we got 1 down. 2 down. So far, so good. Halfway there. Okay, now this next one. We're not 80, okay. I'm gonna step through this one. Because if it writes in 8,000, we're in trouble. I mean, it shouldn't, but if it does, we're in trouble. Because that'll change mapper stuff that I do not want it changing. The Brood War expansion is PC only. Oh, SGI Master Race. All right, so this guy should be the last byte it writes. Y is now 0. Increment that, it's 80, and why did it loop? Why did it loop? Because now it's going to write to 8,000, which I do not want it to write to. Okay, 10. Because I don't load it. I increment it, but I don't touch it. Should probably use just a counter for that, but fortunately 8,000 was already 0. That doesn't matter actually. I know you're pulling a fast one. You're trying to be funny there, but that's ROM space. If I try to write to ROM space, the mapper kicks in and starts listening. I don't want the mapper to listen because that breaks things. You see, it'll change the configuration of everything, and everything will break, and that's not something I want. All right, so we are going to try that again. Here, game, good. Here, we'll just, oh, I gotta, there it goes. Yeah, but I also talked about it as well. Okay. Seven, 8, 9. Oh, I forgot how hex works. All right, so increment that. We are at 80. Compare that to 80. We are equal now. So now we RTS. Why? Okay. I load up something to compare it, or not there, but I load something up to compare it, and I don't reload A. So I think it might just be easier if I load up. It's not. I just didn't reload the variable. If I just load something in X, and use X as a counter. To be like, hey, if once you hit 0 on X, just stop doing your things. So I think I'm just gonna load X hex 20. Upgrade to 60. I can't do that. All right, let's try that again. All right, so this one doesn't have the load and compare. It just has decrement X and a check for 0. So we're gonna that one actually down there. Okay. Okay, so this one should break out of it, and it does. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So let's take this guy. Can I repeat? How many times can I repeat this before I run out of range? 16? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Oh, I can do 32. Can I do 64? That's 4. Nope. Okay. So we'll go back down to 32. 32. That's 34. 32. There it is. All right. And to make sure that I didn't break any of that, go to that location, undo that one. There. Thank you for the follows. Appreciate that. Let's break some tiles. Not yet. Not yet. Game. Okay. Oh no. F5. So I should clear a large chunk of it, actually. Well, I should actually clear... Yeah, because that'll clear that. Let's go there. Okay, so it clears a whole 32 bytes. So it clears those in one loop. Which will be a little bit faster. I mean, it's still pretty slow because it's using an indexed store here, but whatever. Like how many? It's like 6 cycles, but whatever. It's still fewer cycles per loop. Well, not per loop, but it's fewer cycles per byte averaged out. So, yeah, still not terrible. But I do need to make sure that it still stops when it should. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Should stop here. And it does. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. It is a decent improvement. I don't know if it's 32 times improvement. But it's still a decent improvement. At the cost of space. Because that is a bit of space that it's taking up in ROM. Yeah, it should be fine for now, though. I mean, I'm not really using that space for anything. I do have plenty of space to spare, but whatever. Test early, test often, they say. Wrong. Epic failures are made of code quick, run quick. Not always. Not always. All right. So we cleared that out. Now we need to, like, load up some child maps. Or at least attempt that. Could I repeat the repeat block? Yes and no. I could repeat the repeat block. However, if I do that, I'll still have to stay in the same restriction of how far the loop is unrolled, unless I do something with the B&E right there. Because that B&E, that's a relative jump, and that can only go a certain number of bytes forwards and backwards. So if I make this 32, for instance, or 64 rather, and come back here, and I'll try to rebuild it, you'll see that I have a range error. That's because that label is now more than 127 bytes away from the branch statement, which can't fit into a single byte. Because it's signed, right? It's actually 194 and 199 bytes away. Yeah. And I don't want to unroll the whole thing. I mean, I could, I guess. But that would take up more space than the space I'm clearing. I could do a jump instead. I mean, well, yeah, I'd have to rework the B&E a little bit. I don't want to do that, you know? So, like, it's not that big of a deal right now, so I'm not going to worry about it, as long as it's efficient enough, you know? Like, this might have taken off a frame. Who knows? Yeah, it'd be one of those. But that's not something I want to bother with right now. All right, so I got that. Next is loading up some map data. So I think I'm gonna do that when I press select to start. When I hit select, it'll load a map into the next available slot in RAM. Yes. All right, so here, load up a button. Select is already being used for something. Let you start. Whoops. Not resetting the ball. Instead, we are going to load a child. I'll put this under the NMI. Game load child. Child ID. This is only going to be used for testing. It's not going to be used for the actual game itself, because all that information will be encoded in the map. Encoded in the map. For now, we're just going to use that. All right, so this is going to load up child ID and then increment child ID. Do I have? I've got a. Oops. Child map data. Compare that to child number of number of maps. The value of number of maps. Carry clear, right? Branch carry clear over top of this. Otherwise, we're loading up 0 and then storing that into child ID. JSR to map. Load child map. Actually, I can just jump to it instead because that's already got an RTS. Yeah. Okay, let's see how this works. I need to import the symbol. Okay. Import child number of maps. Tasty do. Thank you so much for the 6 months. Is it gonna? It should. Okay. I guess the text to speech is broken. I'd like some spicy something to make the day go by. Welcome back for 6 months. How you doing? Really do appreciate that. All right, so we did the number of child maps. Make that. What do you mean range error? Uh, 3, 5, 2. Oh, because import ZP to make it a 2-byte number that it imports, or 1-byte number rather, instead of a 2-byte number. One unresolved externals found. Cannot create. So do I not export it? I do not. I have to fix that. Could be better. Remember that balloon fight clone I was making? I got contacted from Nintendo with a friendly C&D. Oh, that's rough. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, Nintendo are very protective of their IP. Very, very protective. I don't agree with it, but I understand. Yeah. That's rough. That's rough, though. So this is a generated file, so I need to actually modify the file that generates that. So let's do that real quick. Maps. Oh, it's convert map main go. It's our maps, okay, and I also want to export that. And I need to put the prefix on there again. Project GitHub, your personal. Yeah. So, did you have the code up anywhere, or was it just like on stream or something? Okay, it worked that time. Good. I forget what these other numbers actually mean. I know they mean something, but I forget what. Code is being shared and hosted on GitHub. What doesn't make sense is that it wasn't their original code; it was Unity. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The code base doesn't matter at all. What they're going after is the IP of the game itself, of Balloon Fight and the character, and the assets and all that stuff, not the code that was written in. Yeah. So even though you wrote all the code yourself, you're still using their characters and their assets more or less. If you had used different assets, it probably would have been fine, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, Nintendo is very toxic in that regard. Very, very toxic in that regard. I don't like that at all about them. But, yeah, I'm not able to change that though. So, all right, so let's see how this breaks, because I'm sure it will. I don't, hang on, I don't, not decode, I don't give it a point to go to. It's using pointer 0 for the address to write to. How does that work in the first place? Hold up, why doesn't that break everything? Load map. Ah! That's why. Let's watch some stuff breaking. I mean, alright, sure, let's see what happens. So this is gonna write it, I don't know where. It's gonna write it in the wrong place in RAM. It's gonna overwrite this, I believe. So let's see what happens. It jumped somewhere. It wasn't supposed to be going. So this is map data, looks like. It broke. Do I not Oh, I need to do this as well. Swap back to last bank. To last bank. Do I actually do any of this? Hang on. No, I just load the metadata and I return. Oh my goodness. I did absolutely nothing. Literally copy and paste an emoji. Self-modifying code. I haven't been running in a while. How was the job hunt going? It's going. It's going. I don't know. I had a one of those like online code proficiency test things I did today. Probably bombed that one, honestly. I was really frustrated with that one. Not necessarily for the problem I had to solve, but like the crap I had to work with. Sir Fetish Fancy, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Howdy. But yeah, we'll see if I even hear back from those guys. Probably won't at this point, but yeah. But I mean, it goes. I don't have any interviews yet. Those are already half the cover's never used. Yeah, so it was on the site HackerRank, which is a big like. I've seen people use it on Twitch. Gives you a problem to solve and a bunch of test cases to test it against. The test cases, number one that I had to test it against, trimmed off like leading spaces. So like, this is the expected output. Here's your output. I'm like, that's the same crap. What is different there? I ended up downloading them. Like, oh my goodness, it is different because this one has indents that don't show on the web page. Oh God. So that took like 15 minutes for me to figure out, I think. So I'm looking at my code, I'm like, what is different here? Nothing's different here. I understand it's to test your theory. Yeah, that and, well, yeah. Yeah. I just wish I had like a little bit more time for it. because it was a timed thing, so I only had like an hour and a half to do a thing. I got half the tests working, and the other half didn't pass. I'm like, oh geez, this is. I'm looking at the time counting down. It's like 15 seconds, 14 seconds, 13 seconds. I'm like, well, I know of a hack I could put in that would make it work, but I can't type that fast and still get it submitted on time. It really is. How you doing, Shanako? Welcome. Yeah, because they want you to know like 16 different specific technologies. It's like, okay, well, do you know this, that, and the other things? Like, well, kind of. I've heard of them. Does that help? We want you to do backend and JavaScript and be a database admin and what? Go away. Yeah. They also love, yeah, I can't stand the test crap. I really can't. Especially like the very like academic type stuff. Like, what is define XYZ? Like, what is this complicated word group of words mean? And it's like I don't care, and I'm pretty sure you don't either. Why are you asking me this? They always ask for 15 plus, yeah, of which maybe 3 are used. They ask for CS theory and like big O complexity. Yeah, I've never used big O complexity in the real world at all. What I have used is, how can I get that COBOL to compile? or okay, this takes 15 seconds. It should take a half a second. Fix it. You know, it's just, oh, I see. We're selecting 15,000 rows from the database and then sorting them and filtering them, excuse me, on the client. We need to instead have like select where ID equals 4 or whatever. So we return a row instead of 15,000 rows. That's the crap I've had to deal with in the real world. Not like making things hyper efficient. This is the closest I've gotten to writing anything that's hyper efficient. Nobody uses Big O except they want to brag to their research paper. Yeah, right. I mean, I understand the concept of Big O notation. I don't know the notation because I don't care. I never use it. I could care less. If it's less than, like, if it takes less than, like, a millisecond to do a thing, I don't care. I mean, naturally, you dump the whole database to the client and expect them to only watch row 4. Yeah, it's like crap like that happens all the time in the real world. Like, you're not. Oh, God, there's so many things where I've like, oh, we're reading directly from this XML file that and filtering all this crap out every time they click a button. It's like, oh. Yeah. The interview for your ability to memorize theory doesn't matter in the real world. Yeah, I mean, I can't stand that crap. Big O is useful to think about, like, oh, this will clearly be an n squared on 10 million times items. Yeah, I mean, it does have its place, yes, but I don't know. It's frustrating when interviews hinge on that kind of crap. Niku Mumber, how you doing? Did I say that right? I hope I did. Yeah, it's like university exam crap. It's like, I haven't taken a class in a decade. You think I remember any of that crap? Not that they taught it in the first place. The school I went to was crap, by the way. Yeah. So what am I up to? I am up to, breaking things. Specifically, so I'm writing a NES game, right? It crashed. It crashed! Okay, let's reload it. And we're not going to hit that button that makes it crash. So I made a NES game. It's a breakout game. I'm making a NES game, excuse me. It's a breakout game with some quirks to it. As you can see, it's got some gravity on it. And what I'm working on right now is implementing child boards. So there's going to be multiple types of tiles, right? Ones that drop like power-ups, for instance, and ones that take more than one hit to go away. But the main one is going to be an inception type tile, or spawn tile, as I'm calling it in the code, where when you hit it, you go into a smaller board, right? A smaller child board. I need to fix that too. Whoops. And that brick doesn't clear until you clear the child board. So I've got the boards in ROM. I drew out a bunch of them in my mapping program in tiled. So I have a bunch of them, right? Here's one of them. Let's see, where's another one? What does this look like? Yeah, so there's another one. So it's smaller maps, right? The main maps look this size. So like that, for instance. The green tiles here are those spawn tiles. Yes, the green ones are the spawn ones that go to the child world, and these orange ones are like power-up ones that I haven't decided on what I'm going to do with yet. But yeah, so when you hit the green ones, it will teleport you to a new map, a smaller map, and you have to clear that one in order to clear the green tile that you just hit. There's a difference between a working programmer and a student or recent student. There is. Yes, there is. That plays is after you've done all this stupid stuff. Yeah. It sometimes reveals that the interviews themselves are either not coming up with the questions or don't know what they are asking. Yeah, and to be fair, like the problem that like we had, or that they gave me, was very similar to what I got for my previous job, but I had to do different parts of it, right? There's like a employee organization chart BS, right? So like, okay, here's the managers and here's the employees under them, organize them and print it out. My last job, the interview for my last job was, okay, how would you go about interacting with a database that has this information? And then the follow-up was, okay, write a web GUI for that exact thing. So it's different approaches for that. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so that's what I'm working on tonight. Is loading up these maps. So I've got them in ROM, and now I need to load them into RAM at a certain spot, starting at hex 6000. But here I don't actually load that anywhere. I do nothing with it. So I just load the metadata. I don't actually start writing the data anywhere. All right, so what we're gonna do here is next map, next child offset, I think. That's gonna be res1, because that's gonna be index. Thank you for the follow, appreciate that. So I need a lookup table for the start addresses for these child maps in memory. Now I'm using 80 bytes per child map. Now I know 12 times 6 is not 80, but 80 bytes is a multiple of 16, isn't it? Pretty sure it is. Watch me be wrong. So 80 divided by 16. Yes, it is. Okay. Right, so that aligns to the 16 byte, or the 16, yeah, the 16 byte boundary. And it gives me like 8 bytes of metadata per map to do things with. Haven't really decided on what things yet. I do have some ideas though that I might get into later. Anyway, so I need to find the start address of each of those blocks of 80 bytes in the range of hex 6000 to 8000 essentially. And I want to do that with an index, right? So we're gonna put the data down here at the bottom, I think. Okay, so child map addresses like that. So this is going to be a repeat block. We're going to repeat a bunch. Does .res 1/2 reserve half bytes? No, I think you can only use full numbers with that, or whole integers. Let's repeat 8 for now. So if I, here, watch, hang on. No. If I come over here and make this 1 divided by 2, because that's a mathematical. Okay. It might ignore the stuff. Unexpected trailing garbage characters. There you go. No. I've got a dot. That's interesting. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what that does. I don't think it does half a byte. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, so these child addresses. So it's going to be .word of 6000, which is the beginning of extended RAM, plus, oops, come on, 80, that's decimal 80, times I. Reserve 1 or 2 bytes, really? Huh. All right. Oh, res just reserves a byte, or reserves X amount of bytes in memory. It doesn't actually write anything. It's for the labels and how wide a label is. Because I could, if I wanted to, I could just say instead of that, I could just do next child offset is really like, I don't know, that hex address, and they'd work the same, more or less. All right, so let's see what that gives us. Come over here, reload that, and we're going to open up this guy. Scroll down a bunch. So okay, here we go. 6000, 6050, 60A. So I guess 80 and hex is 50? Guess so. Yes, it is. Yeah, okay. Sure. All right, so let's, let me make sure that like these are actually correct here. Hang on. They actually align. Actually, they actually align. Well, I mean, the lower half is 0, so I know they're going to, I suppose. Where is it? 6. So that's from there to 6050, which is there, actually, 80 bytes. Yep, okay. All right. So let's expand this to 100. And let's see how high that goes. Goes up to 7EF0. Is that actually all I can fit? No, I can fit a few more than there. I can fit like 2 more in there, I think, right? Deedle, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. So to be clear, I never wanted to ask if you can reserve half a byte. I just want to know what the res. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. It also reminds you have too much space. If you try to reserve too much space, yes, that too. Yep. So if I'll demonstrate here. So zero page only has 256 bytes of memory available, right? Because it's the lowest addressed space, right? If I try and reserve more space than is available there, so I need to get dot res 200 because I'm pretty sure I have more than 56 bytes above that. Probably don't. We'll watch. I don't. Okay. 260. 260. Look, hey, your zero page overflows the memory area by 42 bytes, right? Yeah. Error cannot generate most of the files due to a memory area overflow. So it helps you out a little bit. All right, I was looking at where that actually ends. Okay. So let's go to 7E. 7E F0 starts there and goes down 80 bytes. All right, so 1, 2 and a half. Okay, wow. What is it actually? It's 42, of course. What's you know? Is there any good place to start in order to learn 6502 assembly or the concepts behind programming close to the machine level? Well, I can tell you where I learned assembly for the NES. I started with these 2 manuals. This probably, well, that one manual. This probably won't work for everybody, but this is what worked for me. I sat down with a manual from 1976, and I literally just started reading it. Reading about the data bus, the accumulator, what those meant, what LDA meant, how it talked with the rest of the system, or rest of the CPU. So once I figured out how assembly worked, I went and said, okay, cool. How does that relate to the NES? So then I went to the Nerdy Nights tutorials, and I started going through these guys. And this got my feet wet with writing something for the NES and getting something on the screen. And then from there, it's mostly just looking at this wiki for the registers and figuring out my own stuff, honestly. I have found like some generic 6502 code out there to like help me do a thing. But some of it I can't really use though because it uses like the binary encoded decimal, the decimal mode that is not present in the NES. But yeah, I hope that answer was good enough. The question is, if storage reserves 680, 260 more bytes than zero page, how many bytes the zero page overflows? Now we know. There you go. The original was, what do you get if you multiply 7 times 9? Yeah, if you've got any other questions, Tasty though, let me know. I'll see if I can answer them. But yeah, so this wiki here is indispensable. You'll see me use this a bunch on stream, especially for like looking up. Wait, what was the register that did the thing, and what did the bits mean for turning the things on and off? That's all right here. Color emphasis and enabling sprites and backgrounds and column enable stuff and all that. And yeah, gives you a breakdown of all the bytes and all the bits and how to like read controllers and what the name tables mean and what their addresses are and all that kind of stuff, all that goodness, as well as all the mapper stuff. And yeah, it goes into some fantastic detail. All right, so I might as well just do 102. RAM will not fit any more than 102 decoded child maps at 12 by 6 tiles. It's 72 tiles rounded up to, or bytes rounded up to 80. Okay. So then I just need to, yeah, okay. So I need to get the offset, the current offset. So we're gonna load up next child offset, increment that. Then we're going to ASLA and transfer to X, and load up from that table we just made. Child map addresses at X, store that into address pointer 0, and do a +1 on both of those. Like that. Then I need to actually handle this loop here. All right. Load loop. We're gonna have it down here. All right, load up address pointer 0. No. Instead, do I use temp x? Do I use all the temp variables? Y, X, A's, that's in, oh yeah, map tile. Y, X, A, C, Y. I did not use Z. Z is not used here. I will use Z. Load 80 into A. Oops. Wait. Wow, I can't type. Store that into temp Z. This will be our tile count. So instead of comparing against a variable like I do here, or an address that's been pre-computed and stored in ROM. Instead, I'm going to count the number of tiles that I have, right? Let me actually move this stuff all the way to the top. Way up there. All right. Where is... There it is, load map. Okay. Load loop. We're going to JSR to map, read tile, and JSR to map write data. And we're going to decrement temp z. Jump or branch not equal to load loop. Yeah, the check is simpler with this one. Like I said, because it's under 255, so we can actually store that in a single byte. All right, let's see what else I forgot by building it. And then coming over to somewhere, there it is. And we're going to go down to game, start. So this should put it at 6,000. Way up to the top of this. All right, so it should fill up, whoops. This right here with map data. The first map. Specifically the first map, which is that X looking one. So let's see what happens when I hit select, start. Oh, there's data there. All right, and again. Okay, so I should start here. Offsets are wrong. Offsets are wrong. They are. All right. So this is going for too long. Data is code. Time to execute it. All right. Data, yay. Is my math wrong? 80 bytes. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 6, 12. Okay. Let's reset. We can go into the game as well. Load child map. Start. Okay. 0 is in A for the first map. Good. It didn't change the bank yet. Okay, our bank is changed, so we're going to go over here and have a look at that data. That's a bunch of data. Why is all of that the same length? That doesn't seem right. I mean, that doesn't seem right at all, honestly. Because my maps all have different number of tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4. What is 1, 2, 12 times 3. It's like these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was 9. So these, because this is a variable width format that it's being compressed into. So you see these are all the main maps that are all over the place. That makes more sense. Meta and then the tile values. in tiles. All right, the tile values make sense of being 0, right? But this, like, all of them are 10 bytes. That doesn't seem right. All of them are they all padded to that? I don't know. I might have something really weird going on with my conversion script. Anyway, let's still step through this. All right, so we are starting at wait, we're starting at 6,000. All right. And let's move this way up here to 6,000. 6,000. All right. Load up the maps index. 8267. Child meta map 00. Okay, that's right. Actually, let me. Well, not that one. This guy, drag it down a little bit. Okay. Load up 0. Storing that into address pointer. 0. Wait a minute. Why? Why though? Why do I load pointer to tile data? Load Y0. Load Y0, not A0. Got it. Okay, never mind. Never mind. We're good. We're fine. We're fine. All right. So the tile data is in address pointer 1, starting at 826D. Yep. Okay. Load pointer to value data, which is going to be the byte before that, in address pointer 2. (826C). That's correct. All right. Health value 0. Fine. Boss Fighter X, how you doing? It's always human error. Probably, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is this time. Store that in temp-z. Maybe using temp-z or something. Well, whatever. Build the next offset, increment it, ASLA, still 0, transfer that to X, child map addresses, put that into pointer 0. Okay, so that is the destination for our map, 6,000. That's where we want to be. That's good. Load 50 in A. Okay. Sounds right, right? Yeah. Store that into temp-z for the tile count. And then we want to read the tile. Where does this put data? Current data offset is in index A. X is number of bits shifted off the current byte. Y is the output value. C is the current data byte. Okay. Why? Was I supposed to? Hang on. No, I can do them right after each other. Okay. Okay, now writing data, loading up 0, storing that in Y. No, if I clobbered, if that clobbered it, it would have broken the main map. All right. Branch on equal. No brick. Y is the actual data, right? Is that what it was? Y is the output value. Okay. Y is the actual data. So it does not equal. So we are ORing it with 40. Let's write the first byte. Because that's the type. Right. We're storing that where it belongs. Okay. And, no. With the pointer. Okay, sorry, pointer 0. Yep. So we're at 6001 now. And it with F. Write the value byte. Compared to 1. If it's equal, it's a health brick, so it is a health brick. Okay. I am using temp C. We need to use a different value for that. What else can I use? I know you can't really see this very well. Am I using A, B, or C? Using C. Am I using index B anywhere? Yes, I am. I am using all of my temporary variables. Just temp W. Temp W. Where are we? Okay. Try this again. Down here, load map meta, yeah. Child offset, yeah, okay. Addresses. Tiles red. Now going to reading. Silly fanboy, how you doing? Welcome. Sometimes it's a bad capacitor. It's a MacBook. All right. So everything was cleared. I should have waited a few more frames. There we go. Hit start. Okay. All the way down to read tile, write tile. Okay. So for writing the tile, let's also put temp W in there for kicks. All right. Write data. Okay. That's actually probably what was going wrong. So I was reusing a variable. A variable. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, with the pointer. And it's gonna drop one there. Good. All right. Let's see how long this goes. So it should stop at the end of this row. It's not going to. It's gonna keep on going. Did I? I did my math wrong, didn't I? Yeah. Off by 16 or so. Just woke up after a long sleep. Is it like nighttime where you are, or is it morning or daytime? All right, so that's wrong because the next address points, the next row address starts there, right? Yeah, this is 80 bytes, so I went over 17 bytes. I went over by 17 bytes for whatever reason. Why? Why did I go over for 17 bytes? Because some tiles... Oh my goodness. Some tiles are 2 bytes. Okay. So let's have it. Let's have write data actually decrement the value from here. Yeah. We'll do it twice there. So we'll do it once there and then once up above. I'm not going to bother worrying about this for loading the regular map data because I'm only reading this in child data. Why did I decide assembly for the NES? Hello and welcome, Olokex. How you doing? Long story short, so I can reverse engineer other NES games to use exploits that I find in tool-assisted speedruns. But then I got distracted and I'm now just writing NES games. But that's the short of it. That's the short of it. I do plan on making a video explaining that in detail, but I did actually go into detail the other day. I still haven't uploaded the VOD anymore for that though. Alright, so let's see what this does. Over here, do that. Alright, that's faded. Good. Don't actually need that one. Start. Alright. W is 50. X 50. And it should. Whoop, whoop. Oh, that actually worked. Okay, that's better. Start. Okay, 5 first. Start again. There we go. Now it's only updating in 80 byte chunks. Beautiful. Have I watched Biscuit Serious on YouTube, cracking video game passwords? Maybe. I might have. I remember seeing some Mega Man password stuff on YouTube. I don't remember who made the video though. All right. Did this roll over correctly? What was the variable I was using for that? Next child ID, I think. No, it's just child ID. All right. Yes, okay. And it's just gonna keep going. And it will start breaking once I hit the end. And try to go over. This. Broke. Oh, shoot. I missed it. Sorry. I try to keep up with chat, but I miss it sometimes. Nighttime from Ontario, Canada. I'll be honest, I don't remember which side of the continent that is on. If that is on closer to the East Coast or the West Coast, I apologize. East, usually. Okay. Oh, so, alright, so you're in the same time zone as I am then. Okay. I'm in the Boston area, give or take. What memory tool is this? Mojo Dojo, how you doing? This is all part of my emulator. So if you have a look at tools, the second link there is what I'm using right here, what's up on the screen. These are the debugging tools built into the emulator that are absolutely fantastic, by the way. Yeah, no problem. Alright, so for loading the child map, excuse me, if we are over 100, we're not going to do anything. So we're going to compare that to 100 branch on carry set, which is equal to or greater than, or carry clear over there. Otherwise, we're RTSing. Too many maps loaded. Abort to not break things. I'm surprised this is what you wanted to do because I just saw it as a video game project. This here, well, it started off as task stuff. So I actually, before I started streaming programming on Twitch, I off stream I was teaching myself how to write tasks, tool-assisted speedruns. And during one of them, I found a glitch accidentally in a Barbie game, actually. In this Barbie game, because reasons. I was doing this game because reasons. So I wanted to figure out, like, why did that happen? Can I exploit that? Is that a thing that I can like use as like a warp or something like that? Is that something I could exploit in collision stuff somewhere? So I set out to find out. And I kind of like slipped and fell down the rabbit hole. Because I haven't gotten very far in reverse engineering that game. I have found a few spots of what things do, but I haven't looked at it in a while. Yeah, so I'm writing stuff now. So I'm doing things like I'm trying different methods of doing of writing games, right? So the first one I wrote was tutorial stuff, right? So that barely counted. That was me just figuring out how to write anything for the NES. Then the second game, my runner project, I went, okay, this is how I'm going to structure the game engine, the game states, and loading stuff, and this, that, and the other thing. And I went ahead to go implement all that. And I did hit some issues like, oh, well, because I did it this way, I have to jump through a few hoops if I want to do this specific thing. The one thing that comes to mind is actually the transition. Let me actually unplug that real quick and plug my NES back in, because I did actually fix the capture for this by unplugging the card and then plugging it back in. So that's the wrong controller. I need to use the actual NES controller. Oh dear God, all these wires! Uh-oh. It's right around like my glass of water too, and I don't want to knock that over. So there's this one transition I wanted to do and eventually did put into the game. So this is the start menu. And if I hit start game, you see that the entire screen scrolls down to the playfield. Implementing that was a pain in the butt because of how I organized everything. So this time around, I'm organizing things differently. I'm going to see how what the advantages and disadvantages of that are. Decode, I believe, is the main owner of Taz Videos. Is he? All right. Because I know, shoot, what's the other guy? There's another guy that's heavily involved in it, especially with GDQ. Shoot. I know what he looks like. I can hear his voice. I forget his name. He's always the guy doing the test videos at GDQ. Do you not have a do I not have a camera? I have two cameras. I have one right here and one right here. What you talking about? Or did I not have a camera? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean for this game. Oh, yeah. So the camera, if you want to call it that, works a lot differently on retro computers than it does today. There is no concept of a camera. It's just what's visible on screen right now. And that wasn't the issue with me. For me, the scrolling itself was like an easy part. What was hard during that transition, I go from the title screen game state to the gameplay game state. And that transition, when that happens, normally I turn off all drawing and I redraw the screen. I set variables. I do this, that, and the other thing. I had to do some of that during the transition between the two game states across 60-ish frames, 30 frames. I forget how many frames exactly. That was the hard part, not the actual scrolling of the screen. Scrolling was easy. What? No, it's. I mean, the actual movement of the camera itself isn't too bad. What is hard is what was hard with that was keeping track of state and transitioning state properly. Yeah, is the state keeping the scrolling state in sync. If because I was going across a game state boundary. Yeah. But just moving the camera, just moving the view around, what's on screen at a time, is fairly simple. It's like 2 registers you gotta write, 3 registers. You have to write 3 times to 2 registers. 3 separate. You get what I mean. But making sure that like it's a smooth scroll, and like the screen is drawn to where you're scrolling, that's where the issues crop up. Yeah, and sometimes if you have data that like overflows from one screen to another, like I had with let me just wait for the game over here, with the credit screen here. So this scrolls vertically. The actual movement of the camera, if you want to call it the camera, was rather straightforward. What wasn't straightforward is I was losing a line of text every once in a while. It turns out that I was losing that line of text at the screen transition because I was writing to some space that didn't exist really. Well, not text specifically, but it was the colors you see flashing. Those are for the tiers. They were getting misaligned, and I didn't know why they were getting misaligned. Some of them were getting lost. It's because how the data is stored on the name tables itself, and that isn't strictly scrolling. That's like memory data stuff and the pain in the butt and all that. But yeah. So I'm trying a little different approach this time around. And so far, it's making that kind of stuff easier to lay out. When you Christmas alone with another me, it's amore. Yeah, I can't sing to save my life, by the way. Actually, in fact, let me runner and then title transition. So this right here is the code for that transition. And the way I have it all set up is I have pointers to frame code and pointers to NMI code. So I swap out pointers like every other frame almost. to facilitate that scrolling and the drawing and the waiting for the scroll to get so far to draw some more stuff, and then yeah, a lot of waiting, a lot of convoluted code with all this. Like if I rewrote this, I'd do it completely differently, honestly. And the way I'm organizing everything now, this kind of transition should be a lot easier to pull off. A lot easier to pull off. Because here in this code, I use a single function to change game state, right? Yeah, change game state. This is one function that does all the game state changing crap, whatever. And this is something that I jump to and return from. And it's got a list of init things or whatever. But this is set up to expect a hard border between the game states, right? Like, okay, we shut off the screen. Now we need to prepare the next game state, and when we're ready, we'll turn the screen back on and continue on our way. That's what that was designed around. And then I wanted to do something differently that was outside of that design consideration, and it made things so much more complicated. Because I think I had a no, it was still all part of the title initialization. Well, it's the title code, but I had to take parts of the game init code and drop that into the title code, so it made it really, really messy. Really, really messy. All right. Let's go over here. Why is it broken? Because I didn't reload anything. That's why. I reassembled. No, I didn't. Never mind. Just reassembled just now. Over here, go to game. Come over to there. Break on that one. Hit start a bunch. Values are changing. Should hit there eventually. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm looking at this file right here. 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F. Huh. Okay. I see. Oh, really? All right. Start. A is 0. A is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's comparing it to hex 64. Wait. Yes? When does that break? Let's... that summarization of the Quadra 800 source manual PDF is almost certainly converted from a hypercard stack. I know what some of those words mean. I assume hypercard is another video card. Game RAM? Yeah. That's 1. Okay. Store that into previous child offset so we can watch that. Oh, I need to reassemble that first before I add it to the watch list. How about that? Okay. Start. Okay. So now we can hit start until it just looping around. No, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. This is the one. There. Okay. Now I gotta the game and hit start a bunch. There we go. There we go. Decode was an awesome piece of Macintosh history, sort of cross between Mac Paint and Visual Basic. What? Years before Visual Basic was the thing. Cross between a programming language and Paint. That's interesting. There it goes. 66. Because again, I'm looking at the it's a PowerPC board that can go to the PDS slot machine. I don't know what a PDS slot is, but that sounds neat. Start. Okay. So now, when we hit that number, eventually, it'll happen. Excuse me. $63 was the number. I'm one off. So let's go to 99. Because apparently I can't count. What? No, don't kill. Why? Game. All right. Maybe I shouldn't have had it on a button press. Maybe I should have just done it if the button's held down. Of course, that might have. What? This tells me I've jumped somewhere else. It still has data to go. Something else happened. I know it is. If I just RTS, that doesn't mean I change the bank. Right. I'm gonna be going to see. All right, Captain Pie, you have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. All right, let's try that again. I can actually probably change that back up to like 100 or whatever. Oh, I need to select the game and then start spamming start. Okay. Service manual has part numbers for every part except that one screw that is missing on my machine. That's rough. So I guess it's not like a standard screw size? 62, okay. We can fit like a few more though, can't we? So there's 1, 2, 3. We can fit 3 more. Which is 102. Yeah, which is what that goes up to. Alright, okay. Wait, you know what? Let's go over to game, go down to the frame, and load up button start, and we're gonna and it with that one, and compare it to button start. So now it should just, if it's held down, just make all the maps in the game. Yep, good, beautiful. And it stops at 65. See, that's a lot faster. Yep, stops right there. That's the last byte written. Beautiful, beautiful. So now I need to start like drawing that crap to the screen. So that's gonna be fun. Ah, jeez. All right. Probably is a standard screw size. Do you know how many screw standards there are? How many sizes within each standard? I'm gonna guess a lot. That ain't my field of expertise, but I'm gonna guess a quite sizable amount. Sizable amount. That's just stepping out on a limb there. All right, so I need some sort of transition from this screen to the child map, right? Yeah. And I have a few ideas of how I want to do it. I'm not sure yet. And like, do I want to trigger it on a button press for now? Which I think I do. Let's go ahead and get this stuff committed first. There it goes. Before I start breaking things again. That's a lot of stuff changed. Okay. All right. Updated ASM. That is not data file though. That just includes two separate data files. I'll probably work that differently later. Just in terms of wrenches, you probably heard of metric version. Of course, yeah. Refer sizes like British Standard Whitworth. No. Distinguished from the other Brit. I have not. No. Convert map main. Okay. Status. What else did I? Game and game RAM and main and map decode. Jeez, everything. God. Game RAM main.asm and map decode.asm. Okay. Child maps. Okay, so step one is I made a bunch of maps in tiled at 12 by 6 tiles. Tweaked the convert map utility to accept a namespace append to exported labels. Or no, just labels in general. Prepend. Convert both main and child map data files to assembly, and get it into the same object file. What else? Add code to load a child map into RAM. This included modifying the map decode routine to use code between main and child maps. That's about it for now, I think. Okay. Yeah. So I kind of, yeah, I think I will start it with when I hit start, it loads a new map entirely, including the drawing, including drawing the map on the screen. That's what I start with. What are you still doing here? I thought you were going to sleep or something. Just remembered 1 or 2 streams ago we talked about ASM games, and I remembered the self-compiling game I talked about. The game is called Squally. It's available on Steam. Squally. All right, I'll see if I can remember that. I'll do I have? I don't. Drop that in Discord so I can remember later on, after stream. All right, so there's actually so much crap I need to do, because the child board is going to be essentially a different state entirely. Well, not entirely, but it's going to be a sub-state of the main game, right? So the collision code is going to be different. I need to change the collision code. That's both with the bricks. Well, kind of is with the bricks. Well, no, yes, completely with the bricks. Because not only is the offset stuff going to be different. What's it? The memory location that's looking for the brick data is going to be different. I also need to change the wall collision values. Because it's going to be a smaller map, and things are going to be closer together, so I don't want the ball to just be way off in the middle of nowhere forever, you know? Going to sleep now. You have a good night. So there's a lot I need to do. A lot I need to do. A pain in the butt. Well, let's start with it anyway. So load child, I can put it all in here actually. Well, not all, but you get the idea. Oh, can I actually return from that? So when I go into that, ball coordinates, update paddle coordinates, check wall collide, check brick collide. So these are going to have to change. The wall and the brick collide are going to have to change. Not the offsets here, not the direction, not the points, but the 2-point collision might have to change. No. 2-point collision does not have to change. Checkpoint collide does have to, because this is one that looks at the row addresses. The row addresses. So what is not really feasible is to have a table of row addresses for every possible child map. What would be more feasible is having a single address table that's really an offset table to add to a base address, or the child map base address, to get your row. So like a multiplication table, essentially. And then that will be added to the pointer. So yeah, so it would load up the base address from this here. Where is this? Road address is low. Where is this defined? It is defined there. I might move this over to here. I don't know. No, I can't have it over there because that's in banked ROM. This is in fixed ROM. The addresses need to stay over there in the fixed ROM. That's fine, whatever. But still, I need to check if I'm in a child board or not. And if I am, I need to figure out which child board I'm in. And do all kinds of lookup stuff based on that. Oh boy. Yeah. It's a lot of code I have to write. A lot of code where I won't be able to see a result immediately. Or I'll have to just power through it, and at the end of it, I'm going to have 4 billion errors. I'm sure. Yeah, because like I said, this touches collision code again. Stuff that I like just got working nicely. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, well, let's start anyway. So I don't need the previous child offset. That's something I don't need. Previous child offset. Get rid of that. Is that not checked anymore? Didn't I? It's right there. It's right there. All right. Child ID. Next child. Don't want to do it that way. So I thought I might want to implement something later on, which affects how I keep track of where I am right now. So if I just set the child ID, right, that's one variable in memory that says, yes, you're not in the main board. What I thought about, I wanted to have, was nested children. In order to do that, I would have to store addresses of like the previous child. I'd have to store the address of the parent. Now I have enough space in memory for this because remember I have 8 bytes of available memory after each chunk of tile data in RAM. Because remember, the tile data is only 72 bytes. So I've got 8 bytes that I'm not doing anything with. So conceivably, I could take 2 of those bytes and say, all right, this is the parent table. Conceivably. Should I do that? I don't know. What if I... Tewizzy, how you doing? First time, welcome. Glad you can make it. How you been? So, I mean, if I want to move to that later on, I suppose it wouldn't be too hard to like put a current child ID or whatever in to a place in RAM somewhere. I'm doing alright, can't complain too much. I'm trying to figure out how I want to approach something though. I don't know exactly what I want to do. Yeah. But I suppose I can start it with just a yes or no binary kind of, are we in a child board right now? So we're going to start with that one, I think. Yeah, so this one, to do this better. Okay, so we're going to load up child ID. Branch on not equal to child address, which is going to be down here. All right. So this is going to, so it has the child ID in A. We're going to ASL that to double it, transfer to X, and then we are going to use that in the lookup map code for the child map addresses. So we're going to load up child map addresses at X. Uh-oh. Do that at Y. No. Jeez. Oh, God. I'm using X and Y for things. I'm returning stuff in X and Y, aren't I? Load Y, bit ball direction, plus minus wait, hold up. Wait. What are we doing here? What is that? This is actually okay. This is actually checking against. Not this one yet. We're not going to touch this one yet. We're going to come back to this one. We're going to come back to that one. Because I don't want to be in brick collide yet. I want to be in the point collision stuff. We're going to start there and work backwards. Here, okay. Point collide. All right. So these are all going to have to change. Not really change, but main check point collide and child check point collide. So right here we're going to load up child ID, and if it's equal, we're going to main check point collide. Otherwise, it's a child. I'm leaving this label here just so I can. It helps. All right, and then we are going to copy most of this crap, but not. Well, let me rephrase. We are going to copy everything, but then we're going to change a good chunk of it. So the board offset Y is going to be different for the child boards because they're different sizes. I need to figure out what I need those offsets to be. Where do I do that in the first place? Right here. Okay. Child offset Y equals, I don't know. And then X is gonna be a thing as well. Child board height is going to be 6. And the width is going to be 12. Right. I need to figure these out. So what do we got? We got 32 wide, so that's what? The half of that's 16, right? Yeah. So we want it 10 tiles in. So yeah, half of that 16 and half of the board width of the child board is 6. So 16 minus 6 is 10. So that's how I get that offset. The Y offset, that's the vertical offset. All right, so we have which are we working on right now? Main boards. What's the size of these main boards? 24 and 12. Okay. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. All right, so 24 and 12. So we've got a Y offset of 32 for both of them, actually. Why don't we just add 32 to that, so make it 64? Let's. I don't know if we'll get this far tonight, but we're gonna see if this is where we want this. don't know if that's a good spot for the child board. It might be. We're gonna find out in like a month probably when I get around to actually finishing all this. Alright, so these need to all change to child board offset Y, and child board height, and child board offset Y, and there, that, and then change it in the comments too, so I don't confuse myself later on. And then this one over here, like that, and then over here, like that. Okay, I think I got all of them. Point to tile is gonna have to freaking change because that's gonna be a different one. Point to tile. Do I want to put this stuff in variables so I can use the same code over again? Do I want to put all that crap in variables actually, so I don't have to have 1.5 million constants out the butt and different code paths for different parts of the code, just to look at different constants. Constants aren't, variables don't. So I think I might do that actually. Where I just load the current map's offsets and sizes and use the exact same code for everything else. Which, see, I want those in 0 page though. We have plenty of space in 0 page too. It was like at least 200 bytes. I think like 220 something bytes. All right, so game underscore board offset Y res 1 offset X I need to exit insert mode for that. Okay. I do need to set all this, save all this stuff to the variables up top here, though. So let's do that. I won't do that. Over here with all this other stuff. We're gonna do it above the setting of this stuff, because I do want to change the paddle Y, for instance, for the child boards. Not that it would matter in the init, but whatever. So we're gonna load up board offset Y, store that into game board offset Y. Same thing for X. Board width, store that into game board width. And I also want to do that for the height. Yeah. Okay. So now I need to change all these. Oliver the best cat. How you doing? Welcome. Gosh, the game's made like this is crazy, right? But a lot of stuff back then. Oh no. Oh jeez. Oh no. A lot of things back then were what's it? Written all in assembly. Because that's what you had to do. That's just kind of what you had to do. It's a lot simpler back then though, because it's not x86 assembly or anything like that. But so I'm using constant math here. I need to do math on variables now, and I can't. I need a lookup. I need a multiplication table. No, no. It's not going to be 8. It's going to be 6 for the child board, or 8. God. Makes perfect. That makes sense. Yeah, so, like, I've only got like a handful of instructions to actually work with here. For instance, I don't have a multiply instruction. So, like, the fact that I have to now take this calculation and remove it from a assemble time calculation into a runtime calculation is going to be painful, because I don't have, I can't multiply. Well, I can multiply, but I have to either do it the long way or use a lookup table, which is typically a lot faster. It is a lot faster, just unless it's like by 2. If you're multiplying by 2, you can get away with bit shifting. But that ain't by 2. That's by 8. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can shift a bunch, because I do it in other places for multiplying by 8 specifically. Yes, mouse. I'm gonna write that down real quick. This is going to be times 6, or yeah, x6 equals twice plus that. Thank you. Yeah, shift 3 times for 8, right. But still, that makes a 1 instruction like 4, at least 5 actually, 6, because to shift I need to put it in A. I've already got something in A that I need to compare. So, well, I don't need to store it because it's already in temp Y. Okay, so, but I do need to clobber A to do the math, and geez. And then I need to flip around the BCC to a equal and carry set, a pair of those. Because if it's equal to, I want to keep going. If it's set, if it's not equal to, greater than. Yeah. Jeez. Or less than, rather. Maybe. I don't know. Well. But yeah, that's still a lot of crap I got to put into it. But the number of shifts differs between the child board and the parent board, the main board, which is my point. So with putting everything in variables, I can reuse most of the code without touching anything, except where I've got some constant math. I have to fix those. I will come back to those. That one and that one. Yes, I can shift memory values, yes, but I need to do it either 8 or 6 times, depending on where I'm coming from. In theory, well, it shouldn't be too bad. I'll come back to it. Game board offset X. All right, what are the ones do I have? Do I use those anywhere else? Anywhere else? On-road loop with conditional jump in the middle. I mean, possibly. Yeah. Alright, so we want to do or look for a compare with a space and then an ampersand and go. Board height, here we go. That's drawing a map. I think that one's going to be completely different because, yes, that one's going to be different. Because we're reading from a different address at that point. Yeah. Paddle walls. The walls are going to be different as well. I don't know how different yet. This also needs to have a height. Game paddle wall left and a right. I mean, it's nowhere near as tricky as that time I did a reverse subtract into the broken counters. Listen here. Don't make me come over there, right? Don't make me come over there. All right, so this needs to change to game paddle wall left. What? Jeez. Game paddle wall left. Set the carry, subtract carry 1. Game paddle wall right. Load it up. Clear the carry, add carry 1, store that. Okay. Where was the other, where were all of them? There it is. Thank you for the follow, appreciate that. There it is. All right, yeah. Paddle wall left, storing that into game paddle wall left. Do the same thing with right. Put these guys up like that. Good. Only in 2 places. Only in 2 places. Good. Board height. Okay. You know. And Lovelace lives. Hey, don't Lovelace, welcome. Repeat. Okay. You fix that. I'll get back to it later. Board width. Game board width. Okay. Let's go ahead and reassemble this and make sure we didn't break anything. Probably did, but let's find out. Okay. I mean, the values are wrong for the right. It's not popping back out of the wall. Am I going the wrong direction with that or what? I'm a single pixel into the wall. Okay. Can we not? Can we not? That'd be fantastic if we could not. Where are we at? I put those in 0 page, didn't I? Look at all the space I have. Look at all this 0 page I have. So much of it. So much 0 page. I almost don't know what to do with all of it. All right. Let's change it to EB. Let's see what that does. That's all I wanted to do. Why is it different? It's just wrong. Did I change this at one point? And like, wait, hang on. Let's remove the addition there and just see what happens. See, if I take out the addition, I fix it. Alright, well, it looks like the collision with the walls is still working, which is good, as well as the collision with the bricks, which is even better. Get in there. Get in the... You know, why do you gotta do this to me? Oh, good lord, what was that? What was that? Come on. I just fixed that crap the other day. And now it's... No, it's because when you hit it vertically now, it does weird things on the corner. Because of course it does. Now it bounces off the top. I have to fix that later. It's a pain in the butt. This is gonna be a pain in the butt to do. Royal pain in the butt. Because that, jeez, I thought I fixed all that. Just as I'm getting back into the collision code. Yeah, I guess I was moving fast enough though. Down. Well, I thought I had that clipped. At a high enough speed where it wouldn't have that issue anymore. But I guess not quite. Which is fantastic. Fantastic. Yes. I'm a little tired. What do I have? This out of skip diff game.asm. If I can spell diff, that'd be fantastic. Oh, yeah, I added in the add. I didn't need to add it. Okay, yeah. That's what happened there. All right, game RAM. Doesn't matter. Main.asm. Ah, yes, I will need that. Okay. Doesn't really matter, but whatever. Add game.asm game underscore RAM main.asm map decode.asm. Okay. Start modifying collision code to remove constant values. Removed a bunch of constant values in the ball and paddle collision code. So the same code can be used unmodified for both the main and children boards. There is still two spots that need constant math converted into runtime math. Before collisions will work on maps. All right. And on that note, I think I am going to call it for tonight, because the other stuff is just going to be a lot to get into, and I'm not sure I really want to dig into it right yet. So I have stuff still working right now, so I think that's where I'm going to leave off tonight. Yeah, that's why I'm going to leave off tonight. But thank you guys for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully I will see you guys next time. I'll be back on Thursday. Today's Tuesday. I'm back on Thursday about the same time as today. Either 6 or 6:30. I don't know which. I try to get for 6, but it doesn't always work out. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Until next time, yes. Don't go anywhere quite yet, though. We're going to go say hi to somebody first. Thank you for those files. Appreciate that. Let's see. Who can we go say hi to? I think I saw someone that I wanted to go say hi to. This guy. I don't remember if I've rated him, actually. I just realized that I didn't have the alerts making any noise at all during stream. I apologize for that. Whatever. So let's see what he's got a blank screen. Why does he have a black screen? Did he break something? Hang on. Before I set off on this raid, I just want to make sure that, like, he's not ending. Might be ending. He might be ending. I'll come back to him. Well, let's see who's in science and tech, shall we? Someone new. But yeah, so next time I'll probably be working on the same stuff here. I hopefully will get the map drawing. We'll see. I don't know if that'll actually happen or not. It might. Hoping it does. It's fantastic. Because this is something I've been meaning to get in the game for quite a while now. I guess playing a game. What is he talking about? For quite a while now. No, not web dev. Bitcoin exchange. Bitcoin exchange? Really? Where's this guy? Sometimes this is like the hardest part of stream, is figuring out how to say hi to. Yeah, so this guy's working in Unreal. Let's go say hi to this guy. I don't know who he is. We're gonna go say hi. At least I hope you'll come with me. But yeah, so I'll see you guys on Thursday. Hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. Join Discord if you haven't. I rant about things on there all the time, sometimes. Live notifications are there as well. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for coming. Have a good night.